All right, guys. So this is going to be a tour of my entire Star Wars collection. Now, I've done a room tour before, and probably about 70% of my collection is Star Wars. But in my room tour, I kind of went over everything and I glossed over Star Wars. And this one, I am going to specifically focus on Star Wars in my entire Star Wars collection, and I'm going to highlight some of my favorite pieces, and I'm going to show pretty much everything that I have in my Star Wars collection, as much as I can. I do have some stuff actually stored away, but everything that's displayed, I'm going to show you guys in pretty good detail. So please be sure to comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, crack open a nice cold adult beverage, and let's get started. So this is when you first open the doors to my basement and you walk down the stairs, and I have this big wall of just Star Wars figures, and it's a lot of different figures from a lot of different lines. Up here it's some of the Legacy collection, a couple big hitters there with Jaina and Jason Solo. There's some Black Series figures, the Star Wars Clone Wars, Jango Fett from the Gaming Greats. It's just a lot of different various lines here. I actually like the way the wall looks because it's a very dynamic looking wall when you step back and look at it all, because it's all very colorful. It's all very different. There's the Shadows of the Empire, which is a great book and a great video game, actually. Birth of the Skywalker Twins there. A lot of different stuff there. There's those two really good Black Series Episode 1 homage figures, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon and Mace Windu. There's Tarkin, the 30th or 50th anniversary card. Same with Commander Cody, a Tusken. I love that Obi-Wan right there. Here's that ultimate Boba Fett. And here's some Black Series figures, all the Endor figures. I love this one right here, the 2-pack of Jin and Grogu. Akbar, Ezra over there. And some of these newer 50th anniversary figures right there. My dog, he's just staring at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And there's one of my all-time favorite figures. That is Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane. The two figures from Star Wars Galaxy. And this is a line right here which I thought was very underrated. It's the Star Wars Saga line, which was a precursor basically to the Vintage Collection, where they're essentially Vintage Collection figures, but they have this outer plastic shell that comes on it. And they're a lot cheaper than Vintage Collection figures. Here's the Retro Collection figures right here. I have all of them. And that was a Darth Maul that was signed by Ray Park. And here's the Star Wars Unleashed. I love this line. I think it's such an underrated line. And I pretty much got all the figures that I wanted from this line. With the Vader with the removable helmet was the last one, which I really wanted, which I didn't have, and I got it recently. But this line is just tremendous. Look at the detail on this. And it's one of those lines where I actually want a loose collection as well, but I don't want to pop these open because look at the artwork on the packaging. The packaging itself is just tremendous on this line. That Shock Trooper's incredible. Look at that Luke. That Darth Sidious right there with it just blends so nicely with the artwork and then with the figure. Same with the Asajj Ventress. This 2-pack of Palpatine and Yoda fighting. It's incredible. And this one is relevant to the Boba Fett show right now. This is, from my guess at this point, it would be Legends. It would be when Boba Fett escaped from the Sarlacc pit, where you see the tentacles of the Sarlacc pit. And Darth Maul, that's a really good figure. And here's the other side of the stairs, looped around with some random figures, but this is where the vintage collection starts. This is where the vintage collection is now spilled over to, because I have so many vintage collection figures. It's really out of hand. I'm actually thinking about getting a pegboard and stacking basically all my 3.75 figures, just to make more room generally. I think I'm going to end up doing that. And I'm probably going to put it where my main wall of vintage collection figures are, which you guys will see momentarily. But here's all the Clone War figures, all the ARC Troopers. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of vintage collection figures, especially of the more recent ones. I did buy them back in the day, back when they originally came out in circa 2010, but I didn't get all of them like I've been getting now. But you will see a lot of the earlier ones, and a lot of those early ones, really all those early ones that you see, are ones that I got contemporaneously with when they came out. And here's a couple huge pieces of my collection. Original 1983 Kenner Return of the Jedi figures. And that Vader is signed by David Prowse. I love that piece. One of my favorite ones in my collection. Those few Jedis right there are all original from back in circa 2010 about. Same with that Blu-ray release Luke. And these with the stickers, because those are the send away for the Boba Fett. And in a moment, you'll see the send away figure that you got. That's the figure right there, the Blu-ray figure of Luke. Those expanded universe figures, those have actually gone up in price recently. They were kind of stagnant for a while, but they've gone up. These two are both original Kenner figures, the Admiral Akbar and the C-3PO. And again, those are original vintage collection figures, the one with the stickers. And there's my two key pieces, the Ahsoka, and that's the mail away Fett. That Emperor right there is an original one. Star Killer, one of my favorite ones. And here's the figure that got me into collecting. The Vader with removable helmet that I got back in about 1998. I also have that signed by David Prowse. Anakin when he turned to the dark side. So it's really dark side Anakin. The original Clone Wars release and the re-release Anakin. And here we have the 30th anniversary line, which I love this line. That is the concept art Obi-Wan and Yoda, a shock trooper. I adore the 30th anniversary line with the coins, the artwork on them. It's an incredible line. It's really one of my favorites. Aside from probably the vintage collection, it's probably my favorite line. Concept Boba Fett. And here is an entire door of Black Series. Some good figures there. That Qui-Gon is a nice figure. Carbonized Mando. Off-World Jawa in the white box. Darth Nihilus. That's a cool, really cool figure. And there's that new Boba Fett from the Bad Batch. Oh, I'm sorry, that Boba Fett. Captain Rex from the Bad Batch. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Kit Fisto, Plo Koon. And I like those Force Ghosts, Yoda and Obi-Wan. And here's more of my 30th anniversary collection figures. I really like that Spirit Anakin. I wish they would release that actually in the Black Series. There's the pre-Cyborg Grievous, which is a hard figure to find. Mace Windu, Jango Fett, Concept Vader and Chewie. McQuarrie's original concept. I love this Vader figure. This is actually my favorite 30th anniversary figure, is this battle damaged Vader. I think it looks incredible. This is another one of my favorites, the C-3PO with Salacious B. Crumb. I love it how he's sitting on him, kind of picking at his eye. Darth Malak and Darth Revan, two very hard to find desired figures. And a lot of random ones, but this is just such a cool line. I just love the artwork. I love the coins, just everything about this line. There's the original Star Killer. That's the actual concept art for the hero of the Star Wars saga, which George Lucas came up with originally. Originally, the name was Star Killer. Han Solo in the torture rack. That's the only way you can buy that. And some more. There's a Savage Opress figure. I think that might be his only single release, if I'm not mistaken. There's the 300th Star Wars figure. It's a Boba Fett. And I actually was lucky enough to get it signed by Jeremy Bulloch. Got it signed at a convention, probably circa 2003, maybe. There's some archive figures. And this is kind of a general spillover wall. That Count Dooku is a really good figure from the Black Series. The Resistance figures. That 3-pack right there of the 501st is that's a hard one to find. And here are the episode 7 figures. Really, the figures from the sequel trilogy, I don't think were that good in general. I think, I don't know, that's The Last Jedi. I just don't think they were generally done well. They didn't seem to have any kind of focus or plan. Much like the trilogy itself, really. Here's a couple key Black Series figures. They're all convention exclusives. Those three, the Fett, Luke, and Maul. I love these comic 2-packs. This one is my favorite with Darth Talon and Cade Skywalker. And there's one with Mara Jade and Luke from Heir to the Empire. Now here are my episode 1 figures. Now this isn't even all of them. I just basically put out kind of the main ones. As most of us did back in 1999, I went hog wild on buying episode 1 figures. That holograph Sidious was actually, believe it or not, one of the harder ones to find. And just episode 1 rolls into episode 2 figures. they were all actually pretty good figures. I actually really enjoyed collecting these back in the day. Obviously, I still have them all. There's the first ever Jango Fett up there. They were definitely a good line. Sith Evolutions, that's a nice 3-pack of figures. Loose Darth Nihilus. Evolution Sith Legacy. Vader and a couple of the shock troopers. Evolution of Anakin Skywalker. This just kind of goes into a lot of different stuff right here. But on the wall is all my Episode 3 figures. I actually think the Episode 3 figures are some of the best that have come out. The Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith figures were really, really nice. And they didn't come out in like such a large abundance the way Episode 1 did. So they're a little more collectible than Episode 1. They're still not super rare or anything, but they're certainly more so than Episode 1 and even Episode 2. By the time Episode 3 came out, Star Wars collecting had died down a bit. Some of my favorite Black Series figures right here. I love that General Grievous. Now here is basically where I almost stack a lot of my bigger Star Wars toys. Stuff that, can't just go on a wall or anything like that. It's a nice Boba Fett right there. 12-inch Sidious back there. That was a Target exclusive Grievous. It's a 2-pack of Vader and Obi-Wan fighting. They're both 12-inch figures. So over here is a little bit of everything. Just stacks and mounds of Star Wars toys. That's an awesome 2-pack right there. And a lot of 12-inch figures right there. The General Grievous is really cool. That's a good 2-pack with the Mandalorian and the speeder. Now up there you guys will see the Darth Maul and the Sith speeder. I love that thing. I'm actually surprised that doesn't go for more money, honestly, because it's a really good set. I love this 2-pack right here of Chewbacca and the broken C-3PO. This is a newer piece, which I really like a lot. This came out about a year ago, and I thought this was amazing. A scout trooper on their speeder bike when they took Grogu. I love that. I think it's a great looking piece. Some of the special edition Black Series figures, the Sith Trooper. It's one of the Stormtroopers. Carbonized Sith Trooper, which looks awesome. Carbonized Boba Fett. And the carbonized Vader. Definitely some cool stuff there.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it.
I like this Clone Wars piece, and that Obi-Wan piece was a convention exclusive from a few years ago, which was really neat. I try not to get it to talk too often because I don't want the battery to die. I'm not sure how easy or hard it would be to replace, especially if it's in package. I like that Emperor Palpatine on the throne. That was a exclusive from Amazon. And here's the original expanded universe figures. Clone Emperor, Mara Jade, original Dark Trooper. That's the first ever Thrawn figure right there. Leia, Kyle Katarn. And here are my Star Wars video games. The original trilogy on the Super Nintendo. I love all those games. Those are hard games, but they're fun action, side-scrolling games. These are limited run games. The Shadows of the Empire, the Game Boy Star Wars game, the one on Nintendo, PS4 Bounty Hunter and Republic Commando. And these are the PS2 games. Shadows of the Empire and N64 was great. And here, these I have in plastic protection. Some of my favorite Black Series figures. Obviously, that Mando is an expensive figure, so I had to put him in a protective case. Same with the Obi-Wan. And here are my best comics that I have for Star Wars. It's the first appearance of Boba Fett, first appearance of Ahsoka. This one is the first appearance of Ahsoka in continuity, and this is the first appearance of basically of Rebels in comics. And these are some random collector's books that I have for Star Wars. Those first two are basically collector's guides for collecting. And it goes through basically all sorts of toys from basically the very beginning until modern day. And they update this book every few years. And they update the prices, but prices fluctuate so much in the Star Wars market that I wouldn't go by this to really gauge prices, but it's cool to see everything. It's really a nice resource to see everything and know what figures were in what line. So things of that nature. So it's good for that. And these are art books from Force Awakens and Last Jedi. The Force Awakens one especially was good, and that's the visual dictionary for Rise of Skywalker. But the art book for Force Awakens was really nice. I really enjoyed it. I pop it open every once in a while to take a look at it. It has a lot of concept art. And it just kind of gives you an idea of how the ideas for the movie came together. It's a really good book. See, that was originally Kylo Ren. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my Star Wars collection. Let me know what you guys thought. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know if you think I have any glaring holes in my collection, something which I really should have and I don't. Things of that nature. Again, just be sure to comment and like to get this video out into the YouTube algorithm. And till next time, take care.